This podcast is a proud member of the Unidentified Network.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in color, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day our producer Louis had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithm really aren't that happy if a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the track extra. Well, today's show is completely unexpected. I woke up this morning, ready to come downstairs and get on with the day's work, and I was greeted by this video from David Scott.
I am at work, and I have something out here in the woods. I've already heard a whoop tonight, which was quite exciting. We are very close to two sets of railway tracks on the far west side of London, just as you're going out of town where the dealership is. I was standing over here having a cigarette just very shortly ago, and I heard something crash into the grass in front of me like a rock or something. So he's throwing shit at me. I tried doing a whoop earlier, but I'm not very good at them, so he probably went, stupid human. There is a big garbage container up there, but I'm going to tell you the truth, I'm actually kind of freaked out. Wanda is here with me, she's in the van. Still, I'm out walking. I wish I had infrared right now. That's me tapping. I'm gonna walk down a bit. Hang on, I'm gonna pause you for a sec. Okay, I'm coming up on the trash disposal for the restaurant next door right now. Hopefully, he's up getting a snack. Let's go see. I'm gonna hide between these two big trucks because I'm a chicken shit. There's the garbage can. I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I did. Oh, holy crap, that scared the crap out of me. That was me tripping over something. Yeah, a train was coming along, and I heard a whoop. I am about half a kilometer, nah, not even that, a quarter of a kilometer away from the tracks over here. And part of my study I'm doing on from the Niagara Escarpment up to Northern Ontario did include these railway tracks as a travel path from, but further west than I am right now, up. So I'm just wondering if he got turned around and walked down in here, or was following a deer, because I have seen deer. We get lots of turkeys around here. There's lots of food. I am seeing absolutely nothing. Hearing nothing. So other than the whoop and something getting thrown in the grass, it may have been a nut or something falling off one of the trees. We've got some oak trees here. So I'm not going to say he threw something at me because I didn't see it. I just heard it. And it makes me feel better. Not quite so scared. Alright, John, I'm going to send this stuff all to into the main CFZ. And oh. And those are buildings you could see through the trees over there. They're about another half hour. Here comes another train. Let's see if we hear anything. I can hear it off in the distance. I don't know if you can hear it on here yet, but I can. It's coming down the same tracks, so we get a lot of freight trains through here. I'm keeping it on that light just in case something walks in front of it, because the tracks are up just underneath that where that light is, like perspective wise. Well, we'd love to. I hope he whoops at this train too. Where'd he go? I could hear the train, but he's not honking his horn anymore. Because it was the first blast he did when he got close to here that I heard the whoop just before, right after it. He whooped. I don't know if he was telling everybody to get off the tracks or if he was just whooping at the train because it pissed him off or what. Me talking out here is probably pissing him off if he's still around. I'm thinking he's probably long gone, but I don't know. There's so many theories on them right now. I'll send this directly to John, and then I'm going to take it home and run it through a video editor and try to lighten it up, see if there's anything out there. At least get that there's a tree line that you cannot see. That's being blocked by the... That's actually a street light, I think, or a parking lot light. Back to check the garbage. Why is there motion light on? I'll have to go back and see if that was on earlier. The motion light's on at the restaurant too. Those little lights are always on. That motion light is usually on when somebody's in doing something, which is not unusual. So that's the creepiest building I've ever seen, and somebody does live upstairs. So he may have come out. He may have heard the whoop and come out and see what the hell is going on himself. Heck is going on himself. Sorry. You're gonna have to edit the hell out of this, John. Especially if anything else happens. Well, we're 7 minutes in, and that train still isn't showing. So I'm going to stop. If I hear the train coming, I'll turn this back on.
Well, apparently, strange whooping noises are quite well known in contemporary Bigfoot culture as being associated with Bigfoot sightings and presumed to be the sound that the creature makes. And it's also quite well known, especially these days, that the creature will throw things out of the darkness at you. And so, Dave Scott heard a whooping noise and has had objects of some sort thrown at him, or at least in his direction, by animal or persons unknown. This is all very interesting. So I phoned up Dave and asked him to tell me all about it. Now, apologies here that for reasons known only to my computer, we only managed to record the top half of David's head while he was talking. So forgive me for the particularly crappy video editing.
Well, about 2:50 this morning, we were sitting in the van. We have this one spot where we could see almost the entire lot. So we're sitting there, and we got overpowered by this skunk smell. It smelled like a skunk. I thought it was Peppy, our pet skunk, or I shouldn't call him our pet skunk. We have a skunk that lives there. I call him Peppy. They call him something else, but and we thought it was just him. He went underneath the van because he does, he'll come up to the van every once in a while trying to mooch food. So we moved to see if he was under there, and he wasn't underneath. So we went and did a patrol, and we got back to the spot we were about 3:04, 3:05, and you could hear a train coming because we have railway tracks on either side of the property. The one that's really close to us, there was a train coming down. And he sounded the horn, and it was at 3:05 because I marked it down right away. I heard a whoop like that. And I looked at Wanda, who was sitting beside me, and I said, "Did you hear that?" Because I thought I was going crazy because I've been there for 5 years, never seen, heard nothing. And she goes, "I heard that." And so I got out, I walked over to the fence, and then the dark videos, I'm going to try to enhance them today, see if there's anything on them. Did I send them to you, the 2 black videos? Okay, yeah, it's about 7 minutes long. Yeah, yeah, okay. And somebody wants to try to enhance that and see if there's anything out there. Anyways, I went up to the garbage cans to see if something had gone up around the garbage cans, because that's where I thought he would be going if he was. Because part of my migration theory, like his travel path, uses those railway tracks, but not as far as we are into the city. Now, it's pretty green the other side of the road. It's mostly all green space. It's not built up or anything. So those tracks were part of my theory. I've just never seen anything come down that far except for the odd deer and coyotes. And so we're sitting there. So I go up to the fence and I'm looking, peering around, trying to see. And something thumped in front of me in the tall grass. And I ran back and grabbed my phone. And then I started filming. And because I was thinking, okay, this thing's throwing shit at me now. So I'm not sure if he came in and he turned the wrong way, didn't turn north when he was supposed to, or just came down an extra 30, 40 feet and saw this green space there, because there's a big green space on the other side of the railway tracks, and was just thinking, hey, I'm going to hang out here. So I am going to go back into work tonight, myself, with Wanda and Catherine, because they work tonight, but I'm going to go back in with them and see if I hear anything else. And I'm going to try to get the infrared working on my other phone. I have infrared on it, and see if I can just record that area. But I did shoot some more film of it in the light, that area, so you could see what kind of distance that, if he was back. Mind you, he could have been in the middle of that field, that grass, and throwing that thing at me. It might not have been that long of a throw, but I'm assuming he was on the other side of the other fence, close to the railway tracks, which is a pretty good toss. So, but yeah, I was bouncing because I was just going to go home because I wasn't working last night. I was just hanging out, and I was just going to get Wanda to drop me off at home, and I went, "No, I'm staying." So I stayed. I stayed till 7 o'clock this morning, and then when we were done work, Wanda and I went over to look to see if we could find what was throwing. There's no nut trees or anything around there, so it was nothing out of a tree or anything. But the grass is there's an old garden there,
And if it rolled into there, no, that's tick city this time of year. I don't know if you have ticks over in England, but we have them here in Canada. So, and I actually had my hiking pants on, but I didn't have any socks, and I only had a pair of slip-ons on, so I didn't really want to walk into it to search too much. But I will go in with my boots on tonight, and I will go over and check it before it gets dark. So see if I can see a rock or something that was thrown, or an apple core or something. So it was pretty exciting because all the time I've been out in the field, I have never heard a whoop before. That is the first whoop I have ever heard. And Wanda's pretty outdoorsy too. And I asked her, I said, have you ever heard anything like that before? And she said, no, absolutely not. Because she's kind of on the fence when it comes to Bigfoot. She usually just watches stuff with me because to amuse me, you know, show a little support. But I think we converted her once she heard that whoop. So, because she was out there looking through and trying to see stuff too. So it was really exciting. So it's a good way to start the season, that's for sure. Considering I'm not out in the field officially till Thursday, so 2 days in advance. Yeah. So I talked to Dennis Ruckman, who is the guy that feeds me all the stuff off the Elgin Trail from Ontario Sasquatch. I already talked to him this morning too, and I gave him the coordinates because he always gives me his coordinates, so it's kind of a timeshare, and we try to stay out. And I think he's going to go up this morning to see if he can find any footprints. So he will let me know if he finds anything. But I just worked a 12-hour shift, so I was not going into something with, improper apparel. So, yeah, so I was very excited. Yeah, so, oh yeah, I'm hoping I get down on Lake Erie and Bessie's sitting up on shore sunbathing so I can get pictures for Katie. Go, there you go, Katie. That's what it is. That would be, yeah. So, but yeah, that was pretty exciting because I've seen structures, I've seen markings, I've seen trail markings, I've seen what we think might have been a Bigfoot in the one picture that picture that I cannot find, and I'm dying to find again. And but I've never heard a whoop myself before. I've heard recordings, but to hear one in real life, man, that was just like I was kind of I'm getting tired. I'm going to go home, and it was just kind of like, oh, I'm awake. I'm good to go. But I actually turned to Wanda because I didn't think she would have heard it. If she would have said I didn't hear nothing, I would have went, okay, Dave, you're losing your mind. Because and it's funny because I was watching. Oh, what's that show that Ken Gerhard does? If you're watching this, you could tell me. And it was, you guys did a show on a whoop, and there's a black gentleman that's the host, and Katie Strain's on it as a professional, as an expert. You're the expert for Bigfoot and that. And if you could tell me that whoop, because I think you guys said unknown animal, but you didn't think it was a Bigfoot. It whatever it was, it's the exact same sound I heard last night. So I did leave my recorder on for the rest of the evening. Of course, there was no other whoops or anything. I tried whooping. I have a not great whoop. I tried whooping back at it, but he didn't reply. But the rock did come shortly thereafter. So I think he went, you really suck, and you called my mom or something, and threw whatever he threw. So but I'm not giving up on that area now. I'm going to go in and full bore that area next week. I'm going to go through and see. So, yep, I will send it again, and and you can see where the rail line actually splits and goes around our area. So, and then if you look at it, it goes further south if you go back on Google Maps and that, if you go back down, you'll see it goes back down to the Elgin Trail and crosses it. So it makes sense with all the sightings on the Elgin Trail, because I found about 4 or 5 more over the winter, older sightings. It makes sense that they're using that railway track to come up through London. Because I don't know why. I just have a theory that the Bigfoot up north are these ones that are coming through the Elgin Trail and the Niagara Escarpment. Now, in July, I will be on the Niagara Escarpment with Shane for a couple of days. My nephew Shane from Shane's Brewcraft. Me and him are going to go into the Niagara Escarpment, and because there's a cluster up there, so we're going to take a small tent and stay overnight, and we're going to do a podcast of his, and we're going to drink Sasquatch beer. We're going to taste this Sasquatch beer. So, but so one beer is about all I can drink at any annual event. But and then August we're into Algonquin, and I got a really busy June, July, so we should have more. This is all I get this year. Right now, I think, oh, that's great. This is good. But now I want a lot more. So I'm even willing not to take the Jeep. I'm willing to sleep in a tent now. Because I wanted the Jeep because it's a lot more comfortable to sleep in. But I'll leave Eep at home and let Wanda and Catherine use it. And they could just drop me off. That way I have to do the field exploration, right?